Hello, beautiful community. Just a very quick one. We'll keep it under 4 or 5 minutes today, simply because people keep asking questions about Prigozhin's outbursts and then Mr. Girkin's commentaries on Prigozhin's outburst. Mr. Girkin has said that Prigozhin has conveyed the intent to organize a coup. Now, a little bit of housework. Now, most of the Prigozhin experts online didn't know who Prigozhin was in February 2022. So take that as you might. Second, that remark about the hapless granddad wasn't directed at Putin. At a stretch, it had a naughty element of ambiguity to it, right? So it's quite wrong to say, as a few people online have said, that that was clearly directed at Putin. It certainly wasn't clearly directed at Putin. Putin wouldn't have taken it as such either. Mr. Girkin and Mr. Prigozhin are competitors. They're competing for the same demographic. And perhaps up to 20% of the population, and that could grow, are available to them, right? Now, as things stand, Mr. Girkin probably has a little bit more organicity, but not much power, whereas Mr. Prigozhin has quite a bit of power. But if you strip Prigozhin of all of his resources and just put him out on the street, I think he's still, even though his star is rising, a less organic figure than Mr. Girkin. And people don't recognize, the Z radicals don't recognize Mr. Prigozhin's authenticity the way they recognize Mr. Girkin's authenticity. And indeed, Mr. Girkin has a kind of deranged, murderous authenticity. If he were just a guy speaking in a cafeteria without taking any practical action on his ideas, that'd be a kind of quaintness, a kind of neo-imperialistic quaintness to them, actually. Now, what Mr. Prigozhin is saying and what Mr. Girkin is criticizing him for saying is just what Mr. Girkin has been saying for months. So we've got to be realistic about that. Now, of course, Mr. Prigozhin is saying this from a position of having resources and power. He's not just commentating online. But nevertheless, he isn't saying much that Mr. Girkin didn't say earlier. So these guys are competing, and their competition is going to be very intense. There's going to be plenty of other actors in that sort of squabble, that rolling around in the mud in the Z radical circles. Is Mr. Prigozhin going for Putin? Beyond that statement that I think got misunderstood, no, he isn't. He is critically, but without too much vitriol, going for Gerasimov, but above all, with great vitriol, he is going for Shoigu. His attitude to Mr. Putin is one of respect. His attitude to Putinism is one of conservatism and reverence. So we need a Putinist Russia. What is Putin's role in Putinist Russia for Mr. Prigozhin? Well, perhaps it's staying as the leader, but maybe being less involved in some of the running of the state. And in that, some people who Mr. Prigozhin likes would like to be involved. Now, if there is a scenario where all of this might dramatize and that we could be closer to talk of sort of coup-like enterprises, well, that might be something that happens if Ukraine is phenomenally successful with the counteroffensive, right? But at this stage, no, it's not clear what it is that people have in mind in the West when they're saying that there is a potential coup underway in Russia. There isn't. So that's my comment for the day.